Everyone, I'm Anne from the Zoho SalesIQ team. Thank you guys for joining us for today's session. Today we're going to talk about how to boost customer engagement using SalesIQ. Agenda for today's session: why communication is the key to a business success. Secondly, we're going to look into how SalesIQ makes communication seamless for customers, agents, and stakeholders. We're also going to see how to provide improved resolutions with agent productivity tools that we have within SalesIQ, how to code less and AI-powered chatbots that can scale up your business, and finally, a peek at the new channels of communication and integrated reporting. So let's get started right away. So we believe that business communication is changing forever. And in today's competitive market, it has become increasingly challenging to connect customers and businesses instantly. And all of us know that communication is the key. But sometimes businesses tend to corner it, missing out to one of the main touch points of running a successful business. Let's see what a business would miss if they ignored connecting with customers. Firstly, making customers work too hard to connect with the business, right? Because it should be easy for customers to connect with the brand, and therefore capturing those hot leads would be easy. But in this case, it becomes a miss for the business because they're making it too hard for customers to connect with the business. Secondly, unable to close deals quickly. Now, if there isn't instant communication or if there are prolonged email threads, the chances of closing deals become largely wide, right? So that's another miss that businesses can or avoid by using instant communications. And finally, there's no chance to create relationship or have any sort of loyalty with the customer and the brand. So if there's no relationship or there is no frequent communication between the brand and the customer, building loyalty and building a business on that loyalty would be a very hard thing for the businesses to carry on. So now we've seen what a business would miss when they forget reaching out to their customers. But why does a business miss these major aspects? So all of us run businesses and they all know this is pretty crucial for this business to become successful. But why do businesses miss out on connecting with customers? The best way to capture these misses is to connect with customers instantly. And yes, live chat is one of the best options for it. Now, it's not about just connecting with customers instantly, but also powering your team to engage and converge these potentials. And for that, a business not only leads a live chat, but a customer engagement platform. So as a solution provider, we at SalesIQ aim to provide better lead generation, increasing revenue, and higher satisfaction rates, all through a single platform. But most importantly, all of this happens in real time. So in today's webinar, we're going to see how SalesIQ makes customer engagement seamless for customers, agents, and stakeholders. So all of this, the first step is knowing who the customer is. So SalesIQ shows a way to unmask the prospects and learn about who they are, where they're coming, and what they do. So you might be wondering, SalesIQ is only for your website? No, we've also got the mobile users covered. So be it a single page a web application or your mobile application, SalesIQ will allow you to connect with your customers and the business instantly in real time. These are the different things that one can do with SalesIQ, and we're going to look at each of this separately and the tools that can be used in SalesIQ to create a seamless experience for the customer and as well as for the business. There are different ways in which SalesIQ identifies the visitors, or in simple ways, SalesIQ is able to change the numbers that you see on the SalesIQ dashboard to names and email IDs based on all of these properties. So it can be based on the visitor's ID, which is a unique ID set by SalesIQ, or through the past chats and visits, through any API forms, or the web forms that we have on the web. enough of theory, right? Let's get into practical. Let's see some real action of how SalesIQ works on your website. Now for that, I'm going to take you into the SalesIQ's dashboard. Now this is a SalesIQ dashboard, which many of you would have known since you have signed up to the product. And here you can see about the different details of the visitors who are currently active on your website. So we have someone from India, Tamil Nadu, and we have someone coming or using desktop, Chrome, and through Mac. So these are the different device details, which is quite useful for debugging and other issues. We also know about the time this particular contact has spent on the website. So you can see they spent around 13 minutes, and the last visit was in 3 weeks, their IP address, the current page they're currently they are on, and most importantly, the source that they're coming from. Are they coming from any paid Google AdWords, or are they coming from any campaigns that were sent recently? So these details would give your marketing team a very good idea about where the traffic is coming from and who is the targeted audience. In addition to that, you also get the digital footpath. So that gives you a very clear idea about the interest and preference of the prospect or the contact. Now, you might be wondering what happens to all of these data. No worries, all the data is saved under the visitors module over here. So we have segmented the module into 3. So we have the visitors, leads, contacts, and companies. So visitors are those who have connected with the brand but haven't shared any information, and so our leads are pretty much the same. Contacts are those who have shared their email ID with SalesIQ, and finally, companies are group of contacts that have visited the website coming from the same domain. So we have something called the ZIA profile enrichment in our enterprise editions, which will be able to provide enriched company details based on the customer's email ID or the domain. So let's say I visit your website and I use my email ID as ann@zohocorporation.com. So ZIA will be able to capture the Zoho Corporation and convert that and provide company-rich or enriched data about when was Zoho founded, the industry type, the employees, the revenue, and so on, which is quite vital information for your sales team for your qualification purposes. As we saw, be it B2B or B2C, company information or customers information, all of those contacts can be managed in a single dashboard within SalesIQ. So coming to the second part, so now we've identified the customer. The second thing is to capture these potential leads and act upon before they turn cold. So SalesIQ offers a way to engage valuable leads and increase the number of sales by reaching customers who are on the fence about buying with these custom proactive triggers. When someone comes up, maybe adds or removes an item from the cart, and immediately a message pops up saying if they need any help, or providing some sort of offers if they add the item back to the cart. So this is not bombarding customers with information, but these are in-app campaigns that will nudge the prospect to perform a positive action of purchase. So let's go ahead and have a quick look at how I set this up. So onto settings, and under automate, we have something called triggers. These are all automation, so we don't need anybody on the end to manually update all of this information. So you can set up any sort of rule. I'm going to take a very simple rule here, saying that if a CRM deal is closing in the next week and they visit the website, I want to give them or show them a discount banner, right? So this will nudge that prospect to perform a positive action of purchase. So let's go ahead and see how this would look. For that, let me have the configuration enabled on my end. Yeah, it's all good. Now you can see as soon as they land in, they get an offer over here within the website. So that's how you can, send out these targeted messages to users, but not really irritating them or causing frustration, but through the course of the customer's journey. Now, one of the best ways is to further automate it is with chatbots. Now, this is not something new. All of you would have played around with chatbot or at least conversed with one. So usually the main problem is whether the chatbot is quite repetitive, or building a chatbot is a very big drag for companies. So we've got that sorted with SalesIQ, because SalesIQ has its own chatbot building platform, which is called Zobot. And it doesn't only provide one avenue for you, but multiple platforms through which you can analyze and build your bots as per your business requirement. For example, if your company is really strong in development and you have a huge development team waiting or loving challenges, you can go ahead either with Dialogflow, ZR Skills for AI powered, or IBM Watson. But if you are someone like me who is much into coding, then you can go with the codeless bot, where it's just a few drag and drops and your bot will be working in just a couple of minutes. So all of this can be done in a single dashboard within SalesIQ. So I want to talk about the codeless bot, where you can build a bot not only to engage your customers, but also collect vital details like name, email, and phone number, and add them to your CRM as a lead or a contact. Right? So even if it's 2 a.m. and your team is not around, if there's a prospect that's coming in and looking and is being interested, they can still leave their details with the chatbot, which is not missed anywhere, but captured rightly into your Zoho CRM or into your Salesforce. Now coming to the next stage. So now we have identified who the customer is. We have captured this potential prospects. Now the next step is to engage with them, right? There's no point in just collecting all their details. So one must focus on having quality conversations that gives a better experience for both the customers and the agents. So for that, we have something, not only a chat way to connect with customers, but also a quick call option where your customers can connect with the business on a quick call without sharing their phone numbers or anything of that, or going to a different application. They just have to stay on the website and connect through over internet. So let's have a quick demo of this. So I'm just going to go ahead and start up a chat. Now this is another trigger or a proactive welcome message that I have set. So you can also set this thing through the triggers that I've set it over here. So I have a chat that's come in. I have auto assigned the chat, so that's why it's already picked up. Just using a canned message. Now you can see that I can go ahead and call this visitor. In just a click, the visitor is notified. I provide all my details because the call is actually being recorded. And that's it. I'm connected with the customer. Right? So it's that easy to connect the business and the customer on call in just a matter of seconds. So also this call is being recorded. So they can come back and look at it at any point. And if there's a demo or some sort of a screen share has to be done to understand better what problem the customer is facing, a quick screen share can be done as well without going through another application or without any downloads or extensions. And once this call is done, the recording will be posted in the transcript, or any admin and supervisor can go back and have a quick view of these calls right over here within the calls module. There, the recording has been published over here, right? So that's how it's easy, and we're not providing one way, but multiple ways for your business to connect with your customers. Coming to one of the last points of supporting customers is through support. Yes, because the work is not yet done. Businesses need to lend support to customers throughout their journey and even after to maintain a healthy customer relationship. So it sounds a little tiring. I do understand that. But we have something called the answer bot that supports your team by answering the common questions with related articles and FAQs right from within your resources. So this provides answers instantly and which improves customer satisfaction and on the other hand, reducing your support tickets. You can see over here, with just a question, the bot is able to pick up answers from the resources and update it. I want to give you another demo as well. So one of the major problems that you would have seen with the chatbots on the internet is that they're quite repetitive, right? They keep saying the same things over and over again. But whereas the bot that you see over here, just the salutations itself is different. It's because the bot is fed with something called small talks, which basically trains the bot with curtsies and pleasantries. So you can have a look at that on the resources module here. So all of these resources part, right, FAQ, articles, small talk, business terms, UAQs, are basically articles and FAQs which would train the bot and make it even more smarter. So all you have to do is add the articles beforehand. So it trains your bot by itself. You don't have to do any manual training. And it will equip itself in answering the customers. Let's go ahead and ask a question. There you can see the bot is responding, right? In just a matter of seconds, the customer is being responded. So the customer doesn't have to wait in queue, or the agents also can look into more productive and complex issues at hand. So one of the best tips that I would like to share to you guys here is that make use of the resource module or the resources to the fullest. So if you're adding an article, make sure you use that article at each and every possible place. For example, so once you add an article, the article can be shared by the agents when they are in conversations. For example, you can go over here and share articles to customers right while having conversations. So this is one way. The other way is how we saw through the bots, which will be able to share in articles and response with those FAQs. The other way is to show knowledge-based articles to the customers. Let me go ahead and show that to you. You have something called the knowledge base here, right? So all your articles will be listed here as well. So they can look at it even before getting connected on chat. So as you can see, this is what we aim to do with SalesIQ. You put in one input from your end, and we want you to use it at the maximum output as much as possible. Another important touch point is to support customers from wherever they are. So with customers spending more time on instant messaging applications, businesses are constantly looking at ways to meet customers where they provide instant support and engagement. And as for teams, it boosts agent productivity by letting them manage multi-channel communication in a single dashboard. So right now we have support for Telegram, WhatsApp, and Facebook Messenger. And a few channels that are coming up is Instagram. So even if your customers message you from Facebook Messenger, it would be notified directly within SalesIQ. So your support agents don't have to open up the Facebook console again and have to manage chats separately. So that's the aim, to have all the chats in a single dashboard, so agents needed toggle across multiple applications to respond and converse with customers. Let's not forget the mobile app users as well. We provide them with the mobile SDK and to support and conveniently get connected with the business through the SalesIQ mobile SDK. So all this while we spoke about the benefits that customers get or your customers would get by using SalesIQ and seamless experience you would be providing as a business to your customers. Now, there should be something in for your team as well, right? So we have some team productivity tools within SalesIQ. So as agents spend more of your work as conversing with customers, here are a few of the tools to help agents get most out of SalesIQ. So the first thing is the FAQ share, which I just mentioned to you guys. So rather than typing out whole paragraphs of details with just a couple of clicks, the articles and FAQs can be shared to the customer while having conversation with them. Next interesting point is nearly 2/3 of a rep's time on an average is spent on non-revenue generating activity. Now that's a lot of a time, right? So we believe that this could be improved with custom widgets that shares information from other third party to your team, while agents would spend more quality and productive time within SalesIQ. And doing so, you would see a measurable increase in performance. So using Deluge, you can build up widgets to perform prime actions. Let's say, for example, canceling an order or upgrading a membership. So something that you would normally do in a third party or in your own application that can be bought within SalesIQ. So in the chat, when you're conversing like this, let's say you want to, cancel the subscription for this user, you can just do it over here without navigating to another application and doing data and copying data here and there and just trying to manage it parallel, right? So this makes it life easier for agents. And one way to keep your team safe from online abusers is to have the abusive content management or the profanity library enabled, where if a user uses abusive language contents, automatically they will be notified saying that they are being warned, and if they still persist in using those language, then the conversation can be ended or even the customer can be blocked. It's because teams come first, right? You've got to safeguard your team from such online harassers. We also have an internal chat option. So if you are using another Zoho product, then we have something called Zoho Click, which is an internal communication tool. And we have integration with that as well, which makes work seamless between the teammates and within your organization. And we also have our native internal chat as well. So you can choose whichever works best for you. So now we've covered customers and we've also seen something for your team. But what about the ones who are actually providing the money, right? The stakeholders. So this is something for them as well. So with analytics integration, one can view, measure, and analyze the impact of your website engagement with extensive reports in Zoho Analytics. So you can measure the lead generation with behavioral analytics and get drill down reports to compare and measure the deviations that your business has performed, maybe during a quarter or during a month. It also helps you to improve the team's performance with essential metrics like missed chat, closed chats, average response, waiting time, and so on. So with this integration, you have a ready-made of 75 plus dashboards, which can be viewed at any point. And as I said, we at SalesIQ provide multiple ways to keep up with your business engagements. So through the web application, which is SalesIQ dashboard for when you're at your desk, the SalesIQ mobile app for when you're on the move, and our Apple TV app, so you can display the most relevant KPIs at your workplace, so that everyone is aware of the situation and your team can visualize your targets and productivity at all times. So that brings us to the end of today's session. So just a quick sum up. We saw about how SalesIQ can be a right tool for your live chat communications, and that you can do much more with SalesIQ. You can identify who your customers are. You can capture them with chatbots. You can also engage them and have meaningful conversations, and also provide these agent productivity tools to make your agents work much more productive. And also finally, how stakeholders also get benefited with the reports and analytics that they have within SalesIQ. If any questions later, feel free to drop us a mail at support@zohosalesiq.com. And if you're interested in SalesIQ and really want to know what we're coming up, you can follow us on Twitter as well as on LinkedIn. for all the new updates about Sales IQ and some interesting new features that are there in our pipeline. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great day.